back to That Dead Guy. This week has been extraordinary. Even though I've been home, my mailbox has been full. I have not had a week like this before. You see all this? I got 25 cards this week. I've got some envelopes in there. I've got 7 official postcards that came in this week. I even got a parcel I sent to Portugal come back to me. I sent that parcel back in November to Ferdinand, and when I got there, they wanted customs for it, so rightfully so, he sent it back to me. So unfortunately, that parcel did not get to his destination. I got it back, and so I'll have to take it apart, and maybe I can send a little bit of it just in a regular envelope back to him again. But lesson learned. So this week, just take a breath, because there's so many cards to go through. It's going to be a longer video. I'll just have to keep my stories and ramblings down to a minimum per card if I can. There are interesting ones in here and I'm going to want to talk about them. And from the details that we got back on post-crossing, they want us to continue to talk about post-crossing and tell about the hobby and just spread the joy. We are going to continue doing that. We're going to show the covers of them. We're going to show the stamps on the back of them, and everything else we're going to try to cover up as best as we can to protect privacy. So I think we've been doing that generally anyways, but I want to reiterate that we're going to continue to do that, and that is the protocol. So where should I start? I'm going to start by saying thank you very much. If you've seen the video I've got in the background, it's not up there yet. It is going out shortly. So that's my thank you to everyone for 300 subscribers. And we're at 302 now, so let's keep that building. Thank you to them and to you guys who continue to watch and comment. That is fantastic. So you'll get 2 videos today from me, just out at different times during the day today. And then tomorrow I've got a video coming out, and then Sunday I might have a video coming out. So I try to get, especially on the weekends, I try to get out 3 or 4 videos, and then maybe 1 or 2 during the week, depending on how work goes. Next week I'm on vacation, so I might have a little bit more time to put out something new and different. All right, let's start with what we got this week. The first one is interesting. It comes from China. It was mailed on November the 17th, and that's it. I don't have any details about the ID. The ID was left off of it. I'm going to do this so you can see the stamps. There are the lovely stamps from China. But the person wrote all about what she wanted to tell me, but didn't include her name and didn't include the ID for the card so I could register it. So I sent a message off to Postcrossing and see if they can track down the original ID that goes with it and have it registered for me. That'll be great. She did put an ID at the bottom, but I think that's her post-crossing ID. So hopefully post-crossing can figure out this mystery and get it registered, especially where it was mailed out on November the 17th. Said it was, there's a stamp on it saying that it was shipped incorrectly to Hong Kong first. And so it's taken a long time to get to Canada. Here we are on the 25th of February. So yeah, the next one doesn't come from quite so far away, but did have me mysteriously confused at first. It came in an envelope like this. It has these old Canadian stamps on it. Not that old because I remember when they came out, but old enough that some of you may not have been alive when they did come out. And it comes from Canada. It comes from Saskatchewan. And inside, there were 3 cards. So first was this one. I really love this card. This is the one that had the official ID on it, so I knew that it wasn't a swap, which was originally what I thought it was, and I couldn't think of who I swapped with in Saskatchewan. And I hadn't swapped with anyone. So on the back, that is a stamp, and it's the same stamp you'll see on all of them, but she's got them all canceled, which is really cool. So I got that ladybug on the back, and it's canceled. So she didn't have to do that. She put my address on each one of them. She put a stamp on them, even though they're 1-cent stamps. She couldn't have mailed them that way, but she did go through the process of having them canceled and then written on each card. So that's the first one. It's kind of a post-crossers Scrabble game. So really nice. It's from Helen, and she's a retired teacher. It's a Saskatchewan. The next one is this one, which makes me think of spring, which I can't wait to have, because after spring is summer. And then finally, we got a hedgehog. So on each card, she's gone into detail, written lots of things. It's fantastic, Helen. Above and beyond in sending something for the first time to someone. So hopefully she'll reach back out to me and we can do a swap. She has put her address on the back of the envelope. So regardless if she reaches out or not, I probably will send her something in return just to thank her so much for that and for the memories with these stamps as well. The next one, you might be able to guess where it comes from. It's from Finland, and it's from a gentleman named Leo. There's the stamp. It's kind of a reflection cloud and lake. And all he says is, "Hello from Finland," from Leo. So that's great. Nice flag to add to the collection. It's interesting because you'll notice that flag shows up again. Maybe not that exact same card though. But we have this Hedgehog card, and it comes from Russia. And it comes from Italia. We'll cover up all this, but we're not going to cover up that gorgeous stamp. It is huge, beautiful, nice Russian stamp. The Russian stamps, they're always like pieces of art when you look at the pictorial ones. So it's always a pleasure to get one. And this week I actually got quite a bit of mail from Russia. So this won't be the last time we talk about a card from Russia. So thank you, Natalia, for that, for the Hedgehog. And it's always nice to see reminders. The next one comes from the United States, comes from Chicago. And this is from Nancy. She has done the great thing about when COVID hit, she went back to take care of her mom. And so that's kind of nice. She says one day she'd love to travel coast to coast. She hasn't been to Canada yet, so one day maybe she'll be up here. So hopefully you do. If you're in the Chicago area, you're not too far from the border, that's for sure. There are the stamps. They're a little bit different. You got some dolphins. So for those of you who like marine animals, there we are. The next one also comes from the United States, but it's from the Pittsburgh area, and this comes from Emily. So she is thinking about spring after all the snow that she has. So this is someplace in Pittsburgh that they really love going to visit. It's the Phipps Conservatory in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And it's been around, let's see, this was celebrating 125 years, and that was in 2018. Started in 1893. So there you go, and typical international US stamp on the back. Thank you, Emily. The last official one I have comes from Germany. And this was created by someone in their national Facebook group. They took a collage of used stamps, put them together, turned it into a postcard, and then mass produced them. So that is great. Looks cool. A little skip on the back there. You got some stamps. You got a baseball stamp and one of the flower stamps that are common in Germany. And so that's from Sandra. Thank you so much for that. Thank you to your Facebook group that created the lovely card. All right, now on to my direct swaps. Normally I have them in some sort of an order, but because there are so many this time, we've got them in a pile and we're just going to go through and talk about them. First one comes from Kristen in Texas. So we kind of have a pinup girl with a cat on her head for where her hair is. So a little bit different. And then on the back, I don't have to cover up nearly as much because it's swaps, not official. So here we are with the Star Wars stamps, and we've got some baseball, Yogi Berra of the New York Yankees, and we've got Ewok stickers and Chewbacca down here and all sorts of great things. So thank you, Kristen, for thinking about me and sending that off. There's even Grogu in there, Baby Yoda. So there's that one. And then the next one comes from Sally in England. She says she's not a big Doctor Who fan, but she did have this card, and she is a Star Wars fan. And on the back, look at those stamps. Wow, the Millennium Falcon. It's a big stamp too. So thank you so much, Sally, for the swap for that one. She said that remind her of the Star Wars Millennium Falcon that her friend had as a neighbor that she really wished she had as a toy too. I did have that. I actually still have that. It's in my basement. But not as in good a condition as it was when it first came out of the box, that's for sure. So thank you for the Doctor Who and Star Wars stamps. And the next one comes from Yulia in Russia. And so we've been talking back and forth. She said this is her first direct swap that she's done. So I'd be happy that I am the first there that she's decided to reach out to. She even has it in Russian Hedgehog right there. And she's got some little stickers. That one really actually looks like polo upstairs. And then she's got these typical Russian stamps at the top. Not the photographed ones, but the other ones that you'd see. And Yulia has been great. She's been contacting me on Facebook, or not on Facebook, on Instagram. And we've been getting to know each other that way. And hopefully all is well with her. And this is actually a Hedgehog card from when she was younger. So she's had this in her collection for a very long time. And she sent it off. It's not the typical Hedgehog we would see, or at least that Polo is. It was African, but this is a Russian Hedgehog. So a little bit different. So thank you, Yulia, for that. The next one is another Hedgehog card. This one comes from Japan, and this is from Yoko. So they're all hedgehogs that are sitting by the fire and having a nice family time there. And she asked questions about when I started raising hedgehogs. We don't really raise them. We acquired this one as a pet in August. I guess in September. He was born July 1st, so he will be a year on Canada Day 2022. So Canada Day is July 1st, just in case you didn't know. And on the back, she's got all sorts of chocolates, which you notice I have a sweet tooth, so strawberry-covered chocolates and orange-colored chocolates. All sorts of things. I thought at first maybe they were scratch and sniff stickers. We had those when I was growing up, but unfortunately they were not. So thank you, Yoko, for that Hedgehog card and the stickers and the memories. There were some other things in there too about Valentine's Day, and I should say one of the things that was interesting. Says in Japan, women give gifts of chocolate to men, which is kind of the opposite of what happens here in North America. So yeah. Side note, you can see I'm trying to rush through this. Not that I want the content to be any different, but I want to make sure you guys don't get bored with what you're seeing. But I am excited about everything I'm getting here. So this one comes from Germany. This comes from Julianne. We've swapped quite a few times in the past. And this is a town that's about 430 kilometers from where she is, but it's where she grew up. And there are the stamps. The next one is a new swap person. Sent me a Moomin card. It is from Finland. You can see the stamp there. We've seen this one in the past. Media sent me that first day cover with it a while ago. But this is from Pavia, maybe? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Hopefully I am. But she explains all about Moomins and how they're important to Finnish culture. And she also talks about the chocolate bar stamp that she's included there too, as it's been around for a very long time, celebrating an anniversary. That's why they created a stamp out of it. So thank you so much for that card. Oh, these ones are sticking together here. Make sure I haven't messed things up. All right, this one is also a new swap for me. This is from Kristen. I'll get it right side up. Our little hedgehog. She's in Sweden. And she's included all these stamps. She's recently gotten back into postcrossing. She's also gotten into stamp collecting. So she's reached out to me to see if maybe I'd be interested in trading some stamps with her. So I said I would. She just needs to get back in touch with me, and we'll continue to trade cards and get some stamps. These interesting space triangular stamps are cool from Sweden. Haven't seen those before. The next one is from Finland again. Lots from Finland this week. So this is from Maya again, and she's included that stamp that we just saw. She has that. And actually, this isn't from Maya. I thought it was. No, it's from Maya, but it is a different one. This is another new swap person that's asked me. She's also from Helsinki, so I have two people from Helsinki that are sending cards. And she talked all about the chocolate bar, and she actually specifically said she was going to send this facts card about Finland. So we have that. I'll go back to the Moomin one here. So it has a stamp on it too, both from Finland, different areas of Finland though. that those two people come from. So thank you so much for that swap. I'd forgotten that there was 2 new swaps that came in that week. And then we have this one. Oh, I gotta cover this address up here. This one's coming from Russia. It was a surprise one. So look at those stamps. Fantastic. Huge, huge hockey, of course. Big, big stamps. But this from Julia. She had sent an envelope, and inside she sent that beautiful lighthouse that she says she has never been to, would love to go to one day. And she's saved this card for her collection too, so we have it both now. It is beautiful. I love how the waves are crashing around it. It's kind of a older lighthouse, kind of falling apart, but in the picture it looks beautiful. But she's also included all these stamps. So we've got some new stamps in here, a couple used stamps, so really cool. I will take them out, and maybe I'll do a video just showing you the stamps that I got this week too. That might be interesting to some of you philatelists out there, but I don't want to take time and go through every one of them right now. We will be here forever. So moving on. Thank you, Julia, though, for all that stuff. The next one comes from Jilly in England, and she has included this Jubilee card for the Platinum Jubilee, 70 years of Queen Elizabeth on the throne. And this represents a picture that was taken in 2005. On the back, she's also included the stamp that matches it. So it kind of makes it like a maxi card. I guess if the stamp was on the front with it, then it would be a maxi card. I guess that's my understanding of what they are. But she said she thought I would enjoy it, and I do. So thank you so much, Julie, for that. The next one, breathe, is from Kimberly in Pennsylvania. So she has sent me this one. It was a card she says was picked up by her brother from a museum that he thought was really cool. And here's the stamps. We got some Simpsons stamps there, and cars, and a teapot. And this one here is a U.S. mail, old U.S. mail card. It's hard to see just because of the way the cancellation runs across it. But it's a nice stamp about the post office. So thank you, Kimberly, for that. Now, excuse me, that's what happens when you're still recovering and you're talking so much that you're not taking time to breathe. So I'm going to have to take a moment and breathe. But Maria, which I've talked about before, in Finland, she's been doing some traveling. And this one I didn't even know of. So it's a place that Finland owns, or it's a territory of Finland, an island. Island. And look at that stamp. It's huge. Never was canceled. But she has access to some cruise ships in her job. And so she gets to travel around a little bit. And so you've seen that she sent stamps and cards from Estonia and from Finland. And so this one, she had someone she knew there and got the card and got them to mail it for them. So there's some cruise ships out of Helsinki. And so this is a rare Alan stamp. So even though this is part of Finland, they have their own stamps, the cats. So they got that. And on the back, she's got a little Paddington sticker, Paddington Bear playing the drums. So thank you for that, for thinking of me and like my father and his collection of stamps. So that will be a great one to it. I have my doubts that he has any stamps from there. So that might be the very first one. So it'd be interesting to get that over to him so he can see. All right, the next one is from John, and he's from Scotland. So there's the stamp, and he has sent this card, and he's also sent some treats inside as well. So it was 5 degrees when he sent this. There you go. Thank you, Posty, in there. And inside, he has sent, oh, some are falling out, a packet of stamps from all sorts of different countries. There's a COVID stamp. I haven't even seen a COVID stamp before. Well, that's not true. I had someone give me, send me stamps from Lithuania that were COVID related. So, oh no, and I also got them from Austria. So I'm really telling falsehoods now. I have had them before. Haven't seen that COVID stamp before. How would I say that? And there's even an Australian Olympic stamp in there too. So what I will do, the stamps that I got from Yulia, and now the stamps that I got from John, I will show those at a later date. And I think I'm going to include these too. So this is a parcel from Spain from our friend Lewis. And Lewis included a underground map of the subway system in Madrid. So that'll be interesting to kind of go through and see. I don't know a whole lot about Madrid and the stops that are there, but I guess going through that map, maybe I will learn a few things. And he included a little letter for me, but he wanted to send me stamps from Spain. So these are duplicates from his collection that he thought that my father and I would enjoy. So we have that. So I will put those aside, and Lewis, you'll join with Julia, or Yulia, however you want to pronounce that, and with John and the stamps that he sent, and I'll go through all that together in a separate video this week. But Lewis was not done there this week. Lewis sent a Captain America card to me, and on the back you'll see the stamps. Whole page, there's the perforations in there, but the whole top is the stamp area. And there's Grogu down there. And then you've got this one that came from Lewis this week. A little Yoda Star Wars card. And there's a space exploration stamp on it. And more stickers of Baby Yoda on the back. And then this card showed up from Lewis this week. This one from Madrid. And so on the back we have a variety of stamps and this giant, like a Spanish flag though with the bull in the middle. So a big sticker there, and of course he always has lots of great stories on there, things. And he's got "Please Save Our Planet" at the top. I don't know how I can do that, but I'm glad to add a chuckle or something here and there if it helps lighten your day. And then he sent this card. This is Princess and the Frog, Disney movie. And on the back, we have this stamp. So he's been great at, one, sending all these postcards. For a while, none were coming, and he was wondering what happened to the mail. It's just they all came the same week, apparently. And so eventually they come. And we just got to be patient with the mail system. Sometimes the mail comes quickly. Sometimes it takes a while. But just be happy when it does come. I always think that here, Canada's the second largest country in the world, I can send a card from Newfoundland to British Columbia and it cost me 94 cents. Should it get there in 4 days? Maybe. If it takes 2 weeks, is it really a big deal? It costs you 94 cents. In the US, to mail a letter anywhere in the US, it's 40 cents. So it's not very expensive. We're shipping a piece of paper around the world, and sometimes we complain it takes too long to get there. When we really think of what we're actually doing, we're sending this piece of paper, and it goes from, in this case, Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates to Canada, and it usually takes about 2 weeks. That's not too bad, I don't think. World secrets aren't on the back because we write them out in the open, and everybody who gets this letter can read it. So nothing secretive of what's going on. It's just nice to know that we can send smiles and information around the world the old-fashioned way through snail mail, and it's still working, and it's still not costing us a whole lot of money to do it. So I want to thank everybody this week, whether it was official and they sent it out, or whether it was someone who was swapping, or even surprise, just thinking of me and thought, I'm going to send something out to them, and then they'll have a surprise in the mailbox. It was great this week to not be feeling well, but be able to go to the mailbox and see all these gifts that were coming in, and surprises, different images, just like I'm traveling the world, all the stamps that we're seeing, and it's fantastic. Love it. So this has been a really long, here's the parcel too that went to Portugal. So I did show that a little bit before. You can see all the stamps that were on it. So I will do something with that as well. Been a long video. Hopefully you've enjoyed all the content that's come out here today. Hopefully you are doing well. You're having a great week as well, getting mail and post. Just keep up the work. Be diligent about it. Enjoy the moment now, what's going on. Send love out to everyone that you get a chance to, whether it's officially or through swaps and direct options. Go for it. It means a lot to people. So for now, stay safe. What, Polo? You say like, subscribe, share, and tell all your friends?
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?